Welcome to the Elementary STEM Coach Podcast. I'm your host, Naomi Meredith, a former classroom teacher turned K-5 STEM teacher and coach. With over a decade of experience teaching and a master's degree in STEM leadership, I'm here to coach you throughout the year to help you gain back more time to create innovative experiences for your students. Summer is just around the corner, and if you are looking for some ways you can map out your STEM teacher professional development for 2025, I have some ideas for you. From free to paid, virtual and in person, I have a good mix to help you dive in deeper with a variety of topics. This episode shouldn't be too long, but I feel like I always say that and then I just keep chatting. So I'm going to keep this short for you. And of course, link everything in the show notes so that you don't have to write everything down, especially when it comes to STEM teacher professional development. There's usually specific names of things, but I wanted to give you some ideas so you can get that planning for what you're hoping to do for this summer and learn more about, because there's always more to learn about STEM. Side note, if you hear a faint whirring sound, sometimes when I record, it's taken out. I am recording right next to my 3D printer. I constantly have that going for my 3D printing club, and they're creating bird feeders. So that's the sound you're hearing if you hear it at all. All right, so let's start with those free options in terms of STEM professional development that you can do in your own time. Of course, this podcast that you are listening to, whether you have been here the whole time or you are new to my podcast and you're so excited you found me, there are a lot of episodes. And I go in from time to time and update this, but I have my whole podcast also organized into playlists. So the podcast is free, the playlists are free, and I have a spreadsheet as well. So all the playlists are hosted in Spotify. So if you're not a Spotify listener, I have a spreadsheet of all of the episodes in those playlists. So if there is a topic you really want to dive in deeper, then you can listen to those episodes in order on the podcast player of your choice. Also, all of the episodes are time stamped. So if you need to keep track of hours to turn in for credit, I have that all for you and all organized and ready to go. Along with that, if you are looking for some books to read or books to listen to, I have two book list of STEM teacher professional development books that I absolutely recommend, and I have read all of them. They are the books that I did in my STEM teacher bookshelf membership, which is currently retired. However, you can definitely check out those books, and when you're going on walks, this is a really great time to listen to a lot of these books. That's what I do all the time and would do with those books. So I will link those lists for you because they are still current, they're still relevant, and really, really helpful when you want to do some learning on the go and in your own time. With that, if you listen to books, I would keep track of that time as well. If you're able to turn in those hours, just like the podcast, any little thing that you're doing learning, get creative with it and add it up with the time that you are learning about STEM. The next option is actually coming up if you're listening to this in real time in a couple weeks, but you can also listen to this on demand. So don't feel like you have to be there right when it comes out. But Wonder Workshop is coming out with their Spring International STEAM Summit. And Wonder Workshop is the edtech company that creates Dash the Robot. And they do two STEAM summits a year. So one in the spring, one in the fall. You can always go back and replay past episodes up until the new summit is released. So you can even go back and listen to fall until the new fall one is out. And they have this coming up, like I said, May 14th through 16th. And it's all virtual and you can listen in your own time. So sometimes they'll have live events, but everything you can watch back for replay. Again, keep track of those hours. But I will be speaking at this free summit and I will be chatting about how to get started with Make Wonder as a STEAM teacher. I kind of mentioned this in the episode when I was talking about subbing in the long-term sub position. And I use Dash and Make Wonder with my 3rd through 5th grade students for a big chunk of the time. And I was absolutely getting started with those kids. They were really great with technology, but they hadn't used the Make Wonder platform before. So I will be sharing exactly what I did, how I set up my week, and if you use that robot or you're wondering how to use Dash in your classroom, this is how I got started using Make Wonder. That is their curriculum that goes with Dash, their online platform. And so I'll be sharing those tips and tricks. So if that's a robot you have in your classroom or you're hoping to get, this will be really helpful with you as well. The following month, later on in June, there is the virtual Teacher Seller Summit. And this is free. There's a free and a paid option. So there's some different things along with that. And you're probably wondering, okay, that's kind of weird. That's kind of out of place for this podcast. However, I am also speaking at this summit and I am talking about how to build a thriving after school club business. And this is something that I have been exploring and loving this school year. And I have created a whole other branch of my business, my own STEM after school club experience, where I go into schools and teach a STEM club to kids. That's something that the parents actually pay for. It's not funded by the school. And so that is something I'm exploring. I'm growing, working on my STEM trailer to add that into what I am doing. But it's been really cool and empowering to teach students in STEM, teach them these different STEM topics consistently week after week, since I don't have my own classroom per se where I'm teaching K through 5 STEM every single day in a school as a STEM teacher. But I have my same group of kids every week, and I have that camaraderie and still being active in a school and using those skills, coming up with new lessons. And it's just been really exciting that I can teach kids STEM in just a different way. And it's also changed my life financially, exponentially financially. So I'm really excited to continue this part of my business. The schools have said yes. I'm working in a couple more schools. So if this is something you're hoping to explore, maybe in the future or on top of what you're already doing and how to have paid club experiences, this is definitely a really helpful session, I think, for you. Just another side of hearing what I do where I don't always talk about like the business behind the scenes. So you'll get to hear me teach in a different way because that's something I don't do as often. But if it's a topic I am passionate about, that is something I will speak about. When you are looking that up, make sure to use my affiliate link so they know where you came from. And I do get a little kickback in return. It's no extra cost to you, but it does help knowing that I referred you along the way. You're going to come and hang out with me and also some other great sessions if you're just looking for ways to explore and expand yourself financially and whether it's STEM related or not. If you're looking for some in-person opportunities, I have a couple that I recommend. And the first one is the InEdCo conference, so Innovative Education Colorado. And I live in Colorado, so this conference is June 8th through 11th, and it's in Breckenridge, Colorado. I'm usually at this conference, but I have another commitment at this time, so I'm so bummed that I'm missing out on this one. It's a really, really great conference. If you want an excuse to go to Breckenridge, Colorado, it's like an hour and a half from the city. It's smaller, but you feel like you know everyone by the end of the conference and you can attend most of the sessions. And if not, I really encourage you to see if there's any local innovative conferences in your area. This is a really great way to connect with other like-minded teachers like you. I see people every year at this conference that I know. There's people like I just always happen to see at the conference. So it's really, really fun in that way. So whether you come to the InEdCo one, you're welcome. You don't have to be a Colorado resident to come or something in your area. It might push you out of that comfort zone, but being in person is really cool still for that conference experience. Speaking of that in-person experience, ISTE is a really great one. It's a huge conference. They were here in Denver last year in 2024, and they always change the location. So ISTE is from June 29th to July 2nd, and this year they're hosting it in San Antonio, Texas. It's super fun. It's also very overwhelming. And if you attend, I recommend to focus on 1 to 2 themes because that is like you're diving into that topic. So that way you don't feel like you have to attend everything. You have your main focus or two, and you can connect all of that together. The vendor area is also really fun. You don't feel like you have to buy anything, but the vendors actually like to chat with you and get to know you. You can visit your favorite brands. You can learn about new brands. That's a really great way to learn. And it's just very different. It's just something, like I said, you might not have done before. So if you can do something in person, if you can swing it, if that's something you want to push yourself out of your comfort zone, maybe your school will pay for it, you can write a grant, you're looking for a grant opportunity. These are some really great options for you. So I hope all of these recommendations help just get you going or thinking about ways that you can continue your STEM education learning. That is something I am constantly doing every day in lots of different ways, probably even without realizing it because I'm researching all the time. It's okay too if you want to take a break. Don't feel like you have to do anything, but I hope that this will help you kick off where you're at, and wherever you're at in your STEM journey, I'm here for you and I appreciate you listening. Feel free to send me a message over on Instagram at Naomi Meredith _ how you're hoping to learn this summer, or if there's anything that I missed, want to hear more about, I would love to chat with you about it. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Elementary STEM Coach Podcast. I would love to connect with you over on Instagram at Naomi Meredith _ or send me an email to elementarystemcoachpodcast@gmail.com. Also, make sure to check out my website, naomimeredith.com, to see all the show notes from today's episode and shop my K-5 STEM resources. Any questions you have, needs for resources, or ideas for episodes, get in touch. I'll talk to you soon.